Hello everyone and welcome to this session of CAT 2022 Quant Section Complete Paper Solution. So here is our first question. The question says there is a triangle ABC and the altitudes AD and BE are drawn to the corresponding bases. Angle BAC is given as 45 degrees and angle ABC is theta, and we have to find out the ratio AD and BE. If you observe closely, this is nothing but the heights or the altitudes. So without wasting time, let's draw the figure first. So our figure is something like this. So this is triangle ABC. Angle B is given as theta and angle A is given as 45 degrees. Perfect. Let's draw up a perpendicular from A to BC. So this is our one perpendicular. This is AD. Let's draw one more perpendicular from B to AC. This is our BE. Now, how we can proceed? So we have to find out the ratio of AD and BE. These two are nothing but the altitudes. Since the area of triangle will be same, why same? Because triangle ABC is only one. So we can take two cases into consideration. The one where we can keep our base as BC and height as AD. The other one is where we can keep our base as AC and height as BE. So let's solve this. So this will be nothing but half into base, that is BC, and height, that is nothing but AD. This should be equals to half into base, which is AC, into height, which is nothing but BE. So this will cancel out, and this is given as BC into AD is equals to AC into BE. And what we have to find out? We have to find out AD upon BE. So this will be AD upon BE, which is equals to AC upon BC. Now our whole task is to find out the ratio of AC and BC. So now how we can find out AC and BC, how we can proceed with it? So what we can do is we can take two things. One, we can calculate area by using half AB sine theta, when we can take two sides to, adjacent sides as AB and AC, and the angle between them is 45 degrees. The other one is where we can take our two adjacent sides as AB and BC, and angle will be theta. So let's use half AB sine theta to find out the area again. So if you use it, this is coming out as half into, one is AB into other one is AC, and this is sine theta. So the angle between AB and AC is 45 degrees. Sine 45 degrees is nothing but 1 by root 2. So let's keep it sine 45 degree only for now. Now this should be equals to half into again. So now we are taking two adjacent sides as AB and BC. So this will be half into AB. The other one is BC, and the angle will be sine theta. So this is getting cancelled, AB is getting cancelled with AB here. Now we have to find out AC upon BC. So AC upon BC is coming out as sine theta upon sine 45. So this is sine theta upon sine 45 degrees, and since we know the value of sine 45 degrees is 1 upon root 2, that will go in the numerator part and it will become root 2 sine theta. So if you observe this, this will become nothing but root 2 sine theta. So the answer is definitely the first option. This was our question number 1. I hope you understand this. Let's proceed for the next question, which is this. That's a very good question based upon time and work, guys. So it was a good question. Let's quickly read it. So the question says, when working alone, the times taken by Anu, Tanu and Manu to complete any job are in the ratio 5:8:10. Okay, so let's simplify it a bit. So what we are provided with? We are provided with time taken. So what is the time taken? So time taken, the ratio of time taken by Anu, by Tanu and by Manu is given as 5:8:10. So we know that efficiency and time taken are inversely proportional to each other, right? So with that, what we can do is, if we have to find out the ratio of efficiency of A, what is efficiency? Efficiency gives us the unit work done by any of the worker, right? So efficiency of A, efficiency of T, and efficiency of M. So this will be 1 upon 5, this will be 1 upon 8, and this will be 1 upon 10. It is nothing but the reciprocal of the time that is provided to us. Now let's quickly solve this. Let's take the LCM. So the LCM is coming out as 40. So this will be 8, this will be 5, and this will be 4. So the efficiency is given as 8 is to 5 is to 4. Fair enough. So we have simplified it till here. Now let's proceed. Now the question says they accept a job which they can finish in 4 days if they all work together for 8 hours per day. So this is nothing but the work corresponding to an hour per day and unit work basically this is. Now the question says that they can finish the work in 4 days if they all work together for 8 hours per day. From this, I think we can find out the value of total work. So how we can find out total work? Let's quickly calculate that. What is the value of total work? So total work is nothing but when they all three works together, what is the total units that they can do per hour? So they can do 8 and 4, 12, 12 and 5, 17 units. And they are working for 8 hours per day. So this is in comparison, this is with respect to 1 hour per day. So this is for 8 hours per day when they are working, and they are finishing it in 4 days. So this is nothing but the value of your total work. Perfect. Now the question says, however, Anu and Tanu work together for the first 6 days, working 6 hours 40 minutes per day. So let's find out the work done by Anu and Tanu together. Let's find out this work first. What's the work done by Anu and Tanu together? So when Anu and Tanu works together in 1 hour per day, what is the total work that they are doing? So that is nothing but 8 plus 5, which is how much? 30. This is the units that they are doing. Now, since they are working for 6 days and per day they are working for 6 hours 40 minutes, let's convert this into hours as well. So 40 by 60, which is 2 by 3, 6 2 by 3, which is 20 by 3. So this is the work done by Anu and Tanu together. So if you observe this, this is coming out as 26 and 2, 52. This is 520. What is this value? So this value is 32 into 17. So what is the value of 32 into 17? Let's solve this. 14, 4, 21 and 2, 23 and 1, 24, 2, 3 and 2, 5. So this is coming out as 544. So this was the total work, out of which Anu and Tanu, how much work they have done? So they have done 520 units of work. Now guys, what is the value of work left out? What is the value of work left out? What is left out work? So this is nothing but 544 minus 520, which is coming out as 24. This is the work which is left out. Now let's read it further. Now the question says then the number of hours that Manu will take to complete the remaining job working alone. Okay. So in unit hours, what is the work done by Manu? So that is nothing but 4 units. And what is the total work? So this is nothing but 24 units. So what will be the time taken in hours? So that will be 24 by 4, which is nothing but 6 hours. So the final answer for this question is 6 hours. I hope you understand this. So what we have done, since the ratio of time taken was given, we have taken reciprocal of the values. So which gives us the value of efficiency, the ratio of efficiency, from which we got our total work by using the first statement. And then from that total work, the work done by Anu and Tanu we have calculated, which came out as 520. We have subtracted and got the value of work left as 24. 24 when divided by 4, which is nothing but the units done by Manu per hour. So this is coming out as 6 hours. That's the final answer for this question. I hope you understand. Let's proceed for the next question, which is question number 3. Perfect. Now the question says we have regular polygons and A and B and having the number of sides in the ratio 1:2 and the interior angles in the ratio 3:4, then find out the number of side of B. Fair enough. So since the polygons are regular, that means their sides must be same, their internal angles must be same. Now the question says they have number of sides in the ratio 1:2. What we can do here is, let's take the ratio of A and B, number of sides of A and B as 1:2, which is given. So let's take the absolute values of the number of sides as n and 2n. So these are the values of number of sides of A and B. Now the question says interior angles in the ratio 3:4. So we know that sum of all interior angles of a regular polygon is nothing but n minus 2 into 180 degree. So this is the sum of all interior angles of a regular polygon. This is for a regular polygon. Perfect. To find out each interior angle, what we can do is we can divide this sum with the number of sides that the polygon is having. So for this polygon A, what will be the value of each interior angle? So this is the sum of all interior angles for this one, since the number of sides is n, so this will be taken as n here. And when we divide this with n, that will give us each interior angle for this polygon. So what is the value of each interior angle for this polygon? This is n minus 2 into 180 degrees divided by n. This is the value of each interior angle for this polygon. Now to find out the value of each interior angle for polygon B, what we can do, we can put 2n here instead of n. Why? Because the number of sides is equals to 2n. So this will be 2n minus 2 into 180 degree. This is the sum of all interior angles. When we divide it with number of sides, which is 2n, we'll get our value of each interior angle. Now the question says the ratio of these two is given as 3:4. Now guys, it's so easy to calculate. So when you will take the ratio of it, this will cancel out. This will again cancel out. So this ratio is coming out as 3:4. Let's solve this. So this is this 2 will also cancel out and it will become n minus 1. So when you will take out 2 common from here, it will cancel out and it will become n minus 1. So n minus 2 upon n minus 1, this is nothing but 3:4. Let's solve this. So this is 4n minus 8 is equals to 3n minus 3. Now n is equals to 8 minus 3, which is 5. Now the question is asking us to find out the number of sides of B, which is nothing but 2 into 5, that is 10. So answer for this question will be 10. I hope you get it. This was very easy question and direct question based upon this result. Fair enough. Let's proceed for the next question, which is question number 4. Let's see. Now the question says that we have A and B are two non-negative real numbers such that A plus 2B is equals to 6. Let's do one thing. Let's simplify it a bit. So this is given as A plus 2B is equals to 6. What we can do here is we can write A plus B separately and B separately, and we can write this equals to 6. Now the question says the average of the maximum and minimum possible values of A plus B we have to find out. So when we have, let's say, when you have two things, when you have two terms, let's say A and B, and the sum is given as some constant, there's this constant sum. Now we all know if we have to maximize one value, then the other value should be minimum possible. This is the basic concept that we can use here. Now we have to maximize this A plus B for me, which means that B should be minimum. And what can be the minimum value of B? So the minimum value of B can be equals to 0. So if it is 0, then this will be again 0 and A is equals to 6. So that's the value of maximum value of A plus B, which is coming out as 6. Fair enough. And to find out the minimum possible value of A plus B, our B should be maximum. So what we can do here is we can take the value of B as 3. So when we are taking the value of B as 3, let's write this again first. So this is A plus B is equals to 6, and now we have to minimize this. This should be minimum. So the minimum value of A plus B will be there when our A becomes 0. So when our A becomes 0, in such a case B becomes 3. So the value of B will be 3 and A plus B will be again 3. Now we have to find out the minimum possible values, average of the maximum and minimum possible values of A plus B. So max value of A plus B is coming out as 6 and minimum value of A plus B is coming out as 3. And when we are taking sum of it, the sum is coming out as 9, and when we are dividing it by 2, the average is coming out as 4.5, which makes our second option absolutely correct. I hope you get this question. This was again a very basic question, very easy one. Let's proceed for the next question. Yes. Now the question says Manu earns 4,000 rupees per month and wants to save an average of 550 rupees per month in a year. In the first 9 months, his monthly expenses was 3500 and he foresees that the 10th months onward, his monthly expense will increase to 3,700. In order to meet his yearly savings target, what we have to do is we have to find out his monthly earnings in rupees from the 10th month onwards. Okay, so what we can do first is we can we can represent this situation in a little bit comparatively easy manner to understand. So income, okay, so income till this process happened after 9 months. So income till 9 months, let's keep a scenario like this, and then remaining 3 months separately. So income till 9 months, this was 4,000. Expenses, so the value of expense was 3,500, which means he was saving 500 rupees for the first 9 months per month. Is there any savings deficit as per our requirement, our criteria? So the question says he wants to save an average of 550 per month. That means there was a deficit going on in terms of savings. And what was that deficit? So that deficit was 50 rupees per month. This was the deficit. The desired savings, the value of the desired savings was 550 per month, but then the actual saving was 500. That means there was a deficit of 50 rupees. Fair enough. Let's proceed further. Now the question says he foresees that 10th months onward his monthly expense will increase to 3,700. Now the new expense is 3,700. Perfect. And in order to meet his yearly savings target, his monthly earnings should be what should be the value of his monthly earnings. Now let's say if you keep it as 4,000 at least, that means how much you are saving? You are saving only 300 rupees. That means what's the value of deficit each month from 10th months onward? So this is nothing but 300. So what is the deficit value? So the deficit value is 250 rupees. Perfect. Now the question says what should be the value of his earning or income for these 3 months so that he can maintain his average saving of 550, guys. So this was a deficit of 50 rupees per month and this was for 9 months. That means what is the net deficit created here? So this is nothing but 50 into 9, that is 450. So this is the additional amount that he must generate from here from the last 3 months. And this is 250 per month, and for 3 months the net deficit created here is 250 into 3, which is coming out as 750. Now 750 plus 450, what is the value, what is the net result is? So this is coming out as 1200. So this is the extra amount that he needs to earn in these 3 months in total. So what should be the value per month basis? So just divided by 3, this is coming out as 400 rupees. That means his earning should be 4,000 plus 400 rupees. So the final answer for this question becomes 4,400 rupees. That's the absolutely correct answer for this question. I hope you get it. So this was a very basic question. Without making any equation, you guys can solve it. Let's proceed. Here is our question number 6. Okay, so this is a beautiful question based upon mixture and alligation. Now the question says there are 2 containers of the same volume. First container is half filled with sugar syrup and the other one is half filled with milk. Let's plot this scenario till here. So firstly we have 2 containers. Let's say container A, and in this container we have only sugar syrup and no milk in the initial situation. We have the other container as well, which is B, and in this container we have only milk and no sugar syrup. Now the question says first container is half filled, fair enough. That means what's the volume that is occupied already here? So let's say the volume that is occupied already here is 80 liters. Why I am taking 80 particularly? Because when you are taking half of something and when you are taking cube of that, that becomes 1 by 8. So I am taking my total value, the value is, a multiple of 8 that can, simplify my calculation. So you guys will come to know why I have taken this value particularly as 80. You can take this as 100, you can take this as, X, it's up to you how you want to proceed with this question. So this will make my calculation very, very easy. For that purpose, I have taken the value of A as 80 liters. In the same manner, I am taking the value of B as 80 liters. Both of them are half filled. So this is the value, and both of them are half filled with one half filled with sugar syrup. That means we are having 40 liters of sugar syrup here, and this is half filled with milk. That means we are having 40 liters of milk here, and this is nothing but 0 in the beginning. This is again 0 in the beginning. That's the scenario given to us for now. Let's read the question. The question says half the content of the first container is transferred to the second container, and then half of this mixture is transferred back to the first container. Let's solve till here. So when you are taking half out of it, that means 20 is going out of it, 20 is going out of it, and you are left out with only 20 liters. Now this 20 liters must gonna add where? So it's gonna add at sugar syrup value. So this will be plus 20 liters. And this will remain as it is as 40 liters. So now what's the ratio here? So the ratio is nothing but 1:2. That's the ratio for now. This is the ratio maintained here. Now what you are doing? Now you are taking half the value from this mixture and then you are adding it again to the first one. So this is exactly what you are doing. Next, half the content of the first container is transferred back to the second container. This is how the process is going on. So what you have done, so you have taken half the content of the first container and transferred back to the second container. Then half of this mixture is transferred back to the first container. Okay. So let's do this process. So what is the total value here? So the total value is 60. So when you remove half of it, that means you are removing how much? You are removing 30 liters. Now, when you will remove this 30 liters from this mixture, this will come out in the ratio 1:2. That means when you break this 30 in 1:2, 10 liters will come out from here and 20 liters will come out from here. I hope you get it. This is a very basic question. So this 10 liter will add to the value of sugar syrup. So this becomes 30 liters and 20 liters will straight away come out as here. That's it. So now the solution that I am having in A, it is in the ratio 3:4. So the ratio maintained here is 3:2. I'm sorry, the ratio is 3:2. Now the question says again, what you are doing, you are taking half of this mixture and putting back in this container. Okay, so before that, let's calculate the values left. So this was 20, out of which 10 is gone, left out is again 10. This was 40. Out of which 20 is gone, so the left out value is 20. That's it. Okay, now what I'm doing is I have to take how much? Half of it again. So what is the total value? 30 plus 20 is nothing but 50, from which how much I am taking? I am taking 25 out of it. So when I'll take 25 out of it, it will come out in the ratio 3:2 again. That means 15 part will be sugar syrup and 10 part will be milk. This 15 part will add to the value of sugar syrup. So let's write these values here for B. So the value of sugar syrup and milk. Let's write these values here. The value of sugar syrup is 10 liters. The value of milk here is 20 liters. Now what I'm doing, I'm taking 25 out of it and this 25 is coming out in the ratio 3:2. That means 15 will be for this and 10 will be for this. So 15 will add here and 10 will add here. What's the total value? This is 25 liters. This is 30 liters. What's the ratio here, guys? This is 5:6, which makes my first option absolutely correct. I hope you get this question. This was a very easy question, but little bit lengthy one in comparison to this calculation. Okay, let's proceed. Next is question number 7. Okay, so the question says on day 1 there are 100 particles in a lab. On day n, where n is greater than equals to 2, this condition is given to us, n should be greater than equals to 2. Out of every n particle produces another particle. Perfect. Let's understand this first. What is the meaning of this line? What is the meaning of this line? Let's try and understand this first. So that means the question is saying when you have n is equals to 2, out of every n particle, one particle is getting produced. That means on day 2, out of every 2 particles, one new particle is getting produced, right? When n is equals to 3, out of every 3 particles, one new particle is getting produced. So let's say if you have a total of 100, let's say, okay, that's the same value given in the question as well. So on day 1 you had 100, and on day 2 how many extra particles are getting added here? So on day 2, out of every 2 particles, one new particle is getting added. That means for every 2 there is 1. That means for 100 there will be 50 new. So on day 2, how many new particles are getting added? 50. Perfect. Let's go for the next case, day 3. Now for day 3, out of every 3 particles, one new particle is getting added. What is the total value? Let's write it step by step. So for n is equals to 1, there were 100. For n is equals to 2, 50 new got added. Why so? Because for every 2 particle, one new particle is getting generated, right? So this is till day 2. Now for day 3, what is the total value here? Before day 3, what is the total value? That is nothing but 150. That means out of every 3, we are generating one new. For 150, if you take this, how many new particles are getting generated? 1/3, right? So that means again 50 new particles are getting generated. See, the ratio is maintained now. 50 new in comparison to 150, that is nothing but 1/3. So out of every 3 particles, we are generating one more. So this is in comparison to third. Let's check it out for 4. So for 4, 1/4. Now what's the total value? The total value is nothing but 200. So for 200, if we take that as 1:4, again 50 new particles are getting generated. I hope you get this pattern. So this is a very basic pattern that we are getting. Initial value is 100, and then there is a successive increase of 50. So that's a constant increase of 50 with respect to each and every day. Now the question is asking you to find out that then find the total number. If the total number of particles in the lab increases to 1000 on a particular day, then what should be the value of that day? Fair enough. So this is an arithmetic progression. Okay. Now my first term is given as 100. My common difference is coming out as 50. And question says on any particular day, this increases to 1000. So for the value of any particular day, this is coming out as 1000. Okay, that means term is given. So how to find out term? This is nothing but term of an AP, which is A plus n minus 1 into D. My first term is 100. This is plus n minus 1. This is what I have to find out. And D, common difference, is coming out as 50. This term is coming out as 1000. So 1000 minus 100 will be 900. So this will be n minus 1 into 50. This is coming out as 900. 900 upon 50, that is 18, and the value of n will be 19. So this is 18 and plus 1, 19. That makes my first option absolutely correct. I hope you get this question. This was question number 7. This was a very basic question based upon arithmetic progression. This is so easy, right? Let's proceed. So here's our next question. The question says the average of a non-decreasing sequence of n numbers starting from 1 to n is given as 300. That means the number of terms from 1 till n, the average of this sequence is equals to 300. Okay. So if the average is 300, that means sum of these n numbers is nothing but 300 into n. Perfect. Now the question says, what we are doing here is we are replacing A1 with 6 times of A1. That means there is a net increase of 5 times of A1. So this is the net increase in my system. So when this increase gets equally divided amongst all the terms, this will result in an increase in my average by 100. Fair enough. So when I divide this 5 times of A1 amongst all the number of terms equally, I'll get the change equals to 100. Perfect. Now this is 20. So my first term is coming out as 20 into n. I hope you get it till here. Now the question says then the number of possible values of A1 is what? Okay. Let's make a case here. Let's say the value of n as 1. Let's see whether it is possible or not. So if I take the value of n equals to 1, that means we are having only one term. And when we are having only one term, the value of first term becomes 20. But at the same time, does it makes my sum equals to 300? Definitely not. When you'll put n equals to 1, your sum becomes 300. That means this is not the possible case. So n cannot be equals to 1. That means minimum possible number of terms is definitely not gonna be equal to 1. Now let's proceed. Let's take n equals to 2. So when we take n equals to 2, this becomes 20 into 2, which is nothing but 40. So my first term becomes 40 in this case. What becomes my sum? So my sum of two terms becomes 600. That means if my first term is 40, then my second term will be 560, which is again more than my first term. That fulfills my this case, that this is a non-decreasing sequence of numbers. Non-decreasing in the sense that means that all the terms can be equal or all the terms are in an increasing fashion. That's the meaning of non-decreasing sequence. So if I take n equals to 2, that fulfills the case. Perfect. Let's try and find out the maximum possible value of number of terms. So if I take n equals to 15, if I take this n equals to 15, my first term becomes 300. That's the value of my first term. And if I take n equals to 15, my sum becomes 300 into 15, 15 times of 300. And my average is also equals to 300. That means this is a case when all the terms are equals to 300. Because if you'll take the value of A2 more than 300, then again A3 will be more than, let's say if you take the value of, let's assume, if you take the value of A2 as 320, then the next term should be more than that, and your average will never ever be equal to 300 in that case. So this is a case when all the terms are equals to 300. This is a possible case, and in this case all the terms are equals to 300, which maintains your average equals to 300. That means if I take the value of n as 16, my value of first term becomes 16 into 2, which is 320. So if all the terms are equal, then also my average will be 320 and never ever will be equal to 300. So this eliminates this case, which gives me a result that my minimum possible number of terms is 2 and maximum possible number of terms is 15. And for all the number of values of number of terms that I am taking here, my value of first term will be different in each and every possible case. So how many total different values of A1 are possible in that case? So 15 minus 2, which is 13, and plus 1. Why? Because I can take 2 here, I can include 2 here. So that means 14 different possible values of A1 is possible, which makes my answer for this question equals to 14. I hope you get it. This is the answer for this particular question. Let's proceed for the next question. Okay, so there's this question based upon cubic equation. Let's see how we can solve this. So the question says R and C are real numbers, R and minus R are roots of this equation, then C is equals to what? Okay, so let's start with this question. What we can do for now is we can put up these roots in this equation, and on putting these roots, this must satisfy this equation because these are the roots of this equation. So when we put R in this expression, this becomes 5R cubed. This becomes CR square, this becomes minus 10R plus 9 equals to 0. This is my first expression when I put R in place of X. When we put minus R in place of X, this becomes minus ka 5R cube. This becomes plus CR square again. Then this becomes minus plus 10R plus 9 equals to 0. This is my second expression. And now if we subtract second expression from the first one, what we are getting here is we are getting 10R cube. This is getting eliminated. This becomes minus 20R, and from 9 to 9 this will cancel out. This becomes equals to 0. Let's do one thing. Let's take 10R common from here. So this becomes R square minus 2 equals to 0. So from here either R is equals to 0 or R is equals to plus minus root 2. So these are the two roots that I am getting here. The values of R I am getting here. One is plus root 2, the other one is minus root 2. Fair enough. Now what we have to do is we have to find out the value of c. What we can do, so these are two roots and my expression is cubic. That means also I cannot take r is equals to 0. That cannot be my a value. Why? Because when I'm putting r equals to 0 here, then LHS is not getting equals to RHS. That means only two possible values for r are plus minus root 2. Fair enough. Now what I can do, my expression is cubic. I've got two roots, that means there must be one more root. So let's assume the value of third root as something maybe a, b or k. Let's say the third root is k. So my cubic expression should be what? So it should be x minus root 2 into x minus of minus root 2, that will make it as x plus root 2. And third one will be something x minus k, this is equals to 0. That's my expression. I hope you get it what I've done. So I've written my expression in the factor form. Now this is nothing but x square minus 2. So this is x square minus 2 into x minus k is equals to 0. So when we'll multiply this, this becomes x cube minus 2x, this becomes minus kx square, this becomes minus plus 2k equals to 0. So x cube minus kx square minus 2x plus 2k equals to 0. This is the expression that I am getting from here. Now what we have to do is I have to compare this expression with any of the expressions, maybe this one or this one you can take. Okay. So when we are comparing, first of all, what we can see, so what we are doing, we are comparing this expression with maybe the original one that's given to you. You can compare that with that as well. So that is nothing but 5x cube plus cx square minus 10x plus 9 equals to 0. Okay, so when we are comparing the two expressions, which one? This one and this one. The coefficient of x cube here is 5, but at the same time the coefficient of x cube here is 1. That means we can't compare in this scenario. What we have to do is we have to take out this 5 common. So when we are taking out this 5 common from here, this becomes 1, this becomes c by 5, this becomes minus 10 by 5, and this becomes 9 by 5. Perfect. So when we compare 2k with this 9 by 5, so from here I think I should remove this part because we have utilized it. Okay, perfect. Now, so this 2k, when we are comparing this expression with this one now, so 2k is nothing but 9 by 5. So the value of k is 9 by 10. That's the value of k. But I have to find out the value of c, for which what I can do is I can compare the coefficient of x square. So here it is c by 5, here it is minus k. So when we compare the two, this one and this one, so minus k is equals to c by 5. Now let's put the value of k, that is minus 9 by 10 equals to c by 5. This is 2. The value of c is coming out as minus 9 by 2, which makes my correct answer option as first one. That's the correct answer. I hope you get it. Let's proceed for the next question. So the next question is based upon functions. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. Now the question says, suppose for all integers x there are two functions. One is you have f function, the other one is g, and you are provided with one expression f of x plus f of x minus 1 is equals to 0. Let's simplify it a bit first. So from here what I can do is f of x is nothing but equals to 1 minus, let's take it at right, so this becomes minus of f of x minus 1. This is the value of f of x that I am getting here, and the value of g of x is straight away given to me, which is equals to x square. Now one more thing I am provided with is f of x square minus x is equals to 5. Let's simplify it a bit. Let's take x common from here, so this will become x into x minus 1 equals to 5. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to find out the value of f of g of 5. So f of g of 5 will be what? So f of g of 5. So for that, first of all, what I have to do, I have to find out the value of g of 5. The value that I am getting as output for g of 5, will put it in our function f of x. So what is the value of g of 5? So from here I can see that the value of g of 5, so when we put 5 in place of x, this becomes 25. So the value of g of 5 is coming out as 25. That's the value for g of 5. Okay. Now what we have to do here? So we have to find out f of g of 5. What it is? It is 25. This is what we have to find out. F of 25. So f of 25 will be what? So in place of x, when I'll put 25, this becomes 1 minus f of 24. That's what we have to find out. So that means this is nothing but equals to 1 minus f of 25 minus 1, which is 24. Perfect. Now this will be the value of f of g of 5. Now the other thing that's what exactly I have to find out is g of f of 5. So now I have to find out f of 5. So what's the value of f of 5? So f of 5, from here I can see that f of 5 will be nothing but 1 minus f of 5 minus 1, which is 4. To find out f of 5, what I have to find out? I have to find out the value of function at 4. Okay. And once I'll get this value, once I'll get this output, then I have to put this in my g function and find out the final value. Okay. Now let's utilize this and let's try and find out a pattern here that we have to finally use for solving our question. So when we'll put x equals to 1 here, when we'll put x equals to 1, this becomes 0. 0 into 1 will be 0. So f of 0 is coming out as 5. When we'll put x equals to maybe 1, then in that case this becomes f of 1, this becomes 1 minus 1, 0. So for the value of f of 0 is 5, 1 minus 5 will be minus 4. So the value of f of 1 is coming out as minus 4. So what I've done, I have simply put up the value of x equals to 1. So this becomes 1 minus 1, 0. This is f of 1. That's what I'm trying to find out. 1 minus f of 0 is 5. 1 minus 5 is nothing but minus 4. I hope you get this. Now, what's the value of f of 2? To find out f of 2, let's put x equals to 2. This becomes 2 minus 1, 1. F of 1, which is minus 4, minus and minus plus. 4 and 1 will be 5. So I've got the pattern. For all the even values 0, 2, 4, 6, the value of function is coming out as 5. For all the odd values f1, let's try and find out f3 as well. So for f3 this becomes 2, f2 is 5, 1 minus 5 again minus 4. So this is the pattern that I'm getting. Now what is f4? 4 is even. For f4 the value is definitely going to be 5. Why? So for all the even values, for all the even inputs, the output that I'm getting for f function is 5. So this will be 5. 1 minus 5 will be minus 4. That's the value of f of 5. Okay. Now f of 5 is coming out as minus 4. What I have to find out? I have to find out g of f of 5. This is what I have to find out. G of f of 5. Okay. So in this function, in place of x, what I have to put up? I have to put up the value of f5, which is nothing but minus 4. So minus 4 square. So this will be equals to g of minus 4, which will be equal to square of minus 4, that is coming out as 16. That's the value of g of f of 5. So this part I have got it. Now I have to find out this value. So this is g of 5, which was coming out as 25, and then when I'm putting it here, 25 minus 1, this becomes 24. This is the value of f of g of 5. So 24 is again an even number, and for even values the kind of output that my f function is giving is equals to 5. So this will be again 5, and 1 minus 5 will be minus 4. So the value of f of g of 5 is minus 4. The value of g of f of 5 is 16. 16 minus 4, my final answer will be 12. Why so? Because I have to add the two values. So this is the value of f of g of 5, which is minus 4. This is the value of g of f of 5, which is coming out as 16. 16 minus 4 will be 12. So my final answer for this question will be 12. This was a question based upon functions. I hope you get this question. Let's proceed for the next question. Okay. So this is our next question. Let's see to it what it is. The question says, in an election there were 4 candidates and 80% of the registered voters casted their votes. Okay, that means if the total voters were 100, then registered voters were 100, that means only 80%, that means 80 voters were casted their votes. One of the candidates received 30% of the casted votes, while the other 3 candidates received the remaining casted votes in the proportion 1:2:3. So let's say one is A and the other 3 are B, C and D. So if the total 80%, we are dividing amongst them 30%. Who is getting 30%? 30% votes are taken by A and the remaining 70% votes are distributed amongst B, C and D in this given proportion. So that means the total votes are divided in the ratio 3:7. And these many votes are divided amongst B, C and D in the ratio 1:2:3. So if we'll see and if we'll find out the sum of this is coming out as 3, 2, 5 and 1, 6. What we can do for our simplification, we can simply multiply this with 6, also this as 6. So why I'm doing that? You can take any of the value, you can take X or whatever, but then this will solve my question, you know, in a little bit easy manner. It will save my calculation. So this becomes 18, let's make it 18x. This becomes 42, so this will be 7x, this will be 14x and this will be 21x straight away. So this is 42 and this is 18. That's the purpose, of multiplying both of these numbers with 6. Now, the question says that if the winner of the election received 2512 votes more than the candidate with the second highest votes. So this candidate D is getting the maximum number of votes and second highest votes are taken by A. The difference between them is 3x. This is equals to 2512 votes. We need not to find out the value of x here. Why so? Because the question is asking you to find out the number of registered voters. That means if we find out the sum of this is nothing but the total registered voters 80%. So if we find out the sum, what it is 42 plus 18, which is 60x. So this 60x is nothing but 80%, that means 4 by 5 of total registered. So this is coming out as 15, total registered is 15 into 5, which is 75x. That's the value of total registered voters. Now, if we, separate it into 2 parts, like 25 here and 3x here, 25 into 3 will be 75, 25 separate, 3 separate. 3x, the value of 3x we can use straight away from here. This is 2512. So if it is only, let's say 2500, it should be 62500. That means my answer should be slightly more than 62500, which makes my fourth option absolutely correct out of the 4. Perfect. Let's proceed for the next question. Okay. So this question is based upon our PNC. The question says the number of integers greater than 2000 that can be formed with the digits 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So I have digits 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. How many digits I am having? I am having 6 digits in total. These are the digits that I am having. Now the question says we can use each digit at most once. We cannot use it more than once. Also we have to find out the number of integers greater than 2000. Okay, so what we can do here is, firstly we can find out all the 4-digit numbers which are greater than 2000. Then we can find out all the 5-digit numbers which are greater than 2000, and at last we can find out all the 6-digit numbers which are greater than 2000. So to make 4-digit numbers greater than 2000, what we can do here is, for this particular part, what are the possible values that I can use? So I can use, I cannot use 0 and 1 here. Apart from 0 and 1, I can use any of the values 2, 3, 4, 5. So for this particular place, I have 4 possibilities. Then for this particular place, how many possibilities? In total, I am having 6 digits, out of which I have used 1 here. That means 5 possibilities for this place. Now for this place, how many possibilities I am having? For this 4, and for this I am having 3. So this is coming out as 20, 20 and 4, 80, 80 and 3, total cases 240. So I am having 240 such integers which are greater than 2000 and are 4-digit numbers. Let's proceed and find out the 5-digit numbers which are greater than 2000. For that, what we can do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For this place, I can use any of the digits, but definitely not 0. So for this place, I am having 5 possibilities. Again, for this place, I am having 5 possibilities. Why so? Because I can use 0 here as well. Now, one of the digits I have used here. So since I have used it here, I cannot use it further. For that, 6 minus 1, that is 5. For this place, I am having 4 possibilities. For this one, 3, and for this one, 2. This is coming out as 25 and 4, 100, 106, that is 600, 600 total cases for this. Now, I have to find out 6-digit numbers. How I can find out 6-digit numbers? So for this place, how many choices I am having? I am having again 5 choices. For this, again 5. For this 4, for this 3, this is 2, and this is 1. This is again coming out as 600. So what are the total cases? This is 1200 and 240, which makes it as 1440. So that makes my first option absolutely correct. Let's proceed for the next question. Okay. So what is this question? Let's read it. Question says, for some natural number n, assume that 15,000 factorial is divisible by n factorial, and whatever the value of n factorial, again we have one more factorial here. Let's understand what is this factorial first. So factorial is nothing but product of all the consecutive numbers starting from 1 till the value we are calculating. So let's say if we are trying and find out the value of 5 factorial, this is coming out as 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5 till 5. So if we are calculating 6 factorial, this will be nothing but 5 factorial multiplied by 6. Perfect. If we are calculating 7 factorial, this will be nothing but the value of 6 factorial multiplied by 7. Okay, so what's the value of 6 factorial? Since 5 factorial is 120, this will be 720, and this will be 720 into 70, 14, 49, 5040. This is the value of 7 factorial that I am getting here. Okay. Now, my question says I have to find out the largest possible value of n. So guys, for this question, what I can do, I can use my options and I'll start with the maximum possible option value. So which is the maximum possible option value? That is definitely 7. Let's start with 7 itself. So 7 factorial is coming out as 5040. That means my numerator will be what? So my numerator will be 15,000 factorial. That means what it is, starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till 15,000. This is nothing but product of all the consecutive natural numbers starting from 1 till 15,000. What is my denominator? N factorial, which is, since I have taken the value of n equals to 7. So this becomes 7 factorial, and again we have factorial. This is 7 factorial and again factorial. 7 factorial is 5040. So this will be 5040 factorial. Now you tell me your numerator is more than your denominator. This is 5040, this is 15,000. So when you'll open your numerator, definitely at a point 5040 will also be there, which will cancel out. That means 15,000 factorial is definitely divisible by 5040 factorial, which makes my option absolutely correct. That means the largest possible value of n that I can take here and satisfies this condition will be equals to 7. Absolutely correct. Fair enough. This was a good question and an easy one as well. Let's proceed for the next question, which is this. Okay, so guys, at the first glance, if you look at this question, this seems to be a little bit difficult, but when you'll start solving it, it is too easy. What we have to do is simply we have to take these expressions separately. So my one expression is 4 minus log of n to the base 2, okay, and the other expression is 3 minus log of n to the base 4. These are the two expressions that I am having. So if we take the value of n as 2 to the power 4, if we take the value of n as 2 to the power 4, which is nothing but 16, for it, this becomes 4 and 4 minus 4 will be 0. So if we put 16 here, that means 2 to the power 4 here, this becomes 4 minus log of 2 to the power 4 base 2. 4 will come out. This will be 4 minus 4 of log 2 to the base 2. This will be cancelled. This will become 1. 4 minus 4 will be 0. That means for all the values greater than 16 I am taking, this expression will be negative. Clear? So if I'm taking the value of n equals to 16, this is becoming 0. If I take all the values less than 16 and greater than or equals to 1, this expression will be positive. But if I take the value of n greater than 16, any of the value, let's say you take the value as 32. So when you take the value of n equals to 32, it will become 2 to the power 5. 5 will come out, 4 minus 5 will be minus 1. This will be negative. That means one conclusion came from here, which is for all n greater than 16, this expression is 4 minus log of n to the base 2. This expression is coming out as negative. Perfect. Let's proceed towards this side. So 3 minus log of n to the base 4. Okay. So if we take 4 to the power 3, if we take the value of n equals to 4 to the power 3, this expression will give me 3 minus log of 4 to the power 3 to the base 4. 3 will come out. This will become 3 minus 3 log of 4 to the base 4. Again, the value of it will be 1. 3 minus 3 will be 0. Okay, but if I take any of the values, greater than 64, if I take any of the values greater than 64, this expression will again becomes negative. So for all the values less than 64, if I take any of the value less than 64, this expression 3 minus log of n to the base 4 will always be positive. Okay. So for all the values greater than 16 here, this expression is negative. For all the values less than 64 here, this expression is positive. That means in this range from 16 to 64, my expression overall is coming out as negative. That's what I have to find out. So my numerator will be negative, my denominator will be positive. That means overall expression will be negative for all the values from 16 to 64. Both are not inclusive. That means, what is my final answer? So it will be 63 minus 16. So 63 minus 16, how many values? This is 3 and 4 and 3, 7. This is again 5 minus 1, 4, 47. That means the answer for this question, number of distinct integer values of n for which this expression is negative, is 47 values. I hope you get it. So I have done simply it by taking two different parts. One is my numerator, the other one is denominator. I have checked for numerator first, that for what values my expression is negative. So I have checked it and found out that for all the values of n greater than 16, my expression is coming out as negative. And since the same thing I have tried and solved it here as well. So for this side, what I have done, I have taken the value of n equals to 64. For 64, it was coming out as 0. So for all the values greater than 64, it will be negative. That means for all the values less than 64, it will be positive. So my denominator is positive for all the values less than 64. So I've got my range for which my overall expression will be negative. Why so? Because this will be negative, this will be positive in between 16 and 64. So how many values? So I have done less than 64, that means 63, and simply remove 16 values. From 17 till 63, how many values are there? 47 values. That means the correct answer is 47 for this question. I hope you get it. Let's proceed for the next question, which is question number 15. Okay. So guys, this is a good question. This is a very good question based upon your linear equation, very simple one. Thinking is involved in this question. How? Let's proceed. In an examination, there were 75 questions, and these questions are divided into three categories. One is you are getting some of the questions as correct, some as negative, wrong, and some as unanswered, unattempted questions. That means the total number of questions we are having, 75, are divided into three categories: correct, incorrect, and unattempted. And the sum of these three categories is equals to 75. Why so? Because we are having total number of questions as 75. Now the question says for every correct answer you are getting 3 marks. That means, let's say you have done C questions correct. So for every correct you are getting plus 3. So this will be 3C. For every incorrect, 1 mark is deducted. That means minus 1 into I. I for I questions you have made negative, and minus 1 for every negative. So this is unattempted. For every unattempted you are getting plus 1. So this is U, and your score is coming out as 97. Now the question says, if the number of unattempted questions was higher than number of attempted. So guys, attempted means what? So some of the questions that you are attempting, you are making them as negative and some of them are correct. That means your unattempted questions is greater than sum of correct and incorrect, which is nothing but attempted questions. Now let's do one thing. Let's simply add these two expressions first. So this will get eliminated. This is 4c plus 2u is coming out as 12. 10, 17. This is 2c plus u, which is equals to 86. Okay, so this is the value of 2c plus u, which is coming out as 86. Now the question says the maximum number of correct answers that Ryan could have given in the examination is what? Okay, now what I have to find out is I have to find out the value of C in such a way that all the conditions should be fulfilled. So this is C, this is U, and this is incorrect. So from here what we can do, this expression will be 86 minus 2C. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's take the value of C as 20. So if this is 20, if the value of C as 20, this will be 40. 86 minus 40 will be 46. That means the value of unattempted in that case, when I am taking the correct number of questions as 20, this becomes 40. 86 minus 40 will be 46. So if this is 46, this is 20, this becomes 66. Total number of questions is 75. That means the remaining questions are going in this category. So this is 66, this is 75. That means this is 9. Okay. If we take this as 22, if we take number of correct questions as 22, this becomes 44, this becomes 42, and this becomes again 66. So the remaining is again 9. But when we take correct questions as 24, this becomes 48. And if this becomes 48, what's the value of remaining? So this is 2 and 28. So this becomes 38. 30, not 38. This will be, just a moment, 4. So this will be, yes, 38. This is 38. And the value of incorrect is again same in that case. What's the value? Let's check it out. So 38 and 4 is 42. 48, 2 and 2 is 64. Something got missing. So if this is 24, 48, 16, 8, correct, and yes. Okay. So if we check the sum of correct and incorrect, so if this is 38, this is 24, and this becomes 50, 62, 62, that means 8 and 5. So this should be, the value of this should be your 13. Now, perfect. Let's find out the sum of correct and incorrect. So this is coming out as 37, which is less than unattempted. That means this is the maximum possible case in which the maximum possible correct answers are 24. Otherwise, if you'll take any of the value of correct answers as 26 or 28, any other value greater than 24, then overall sum of correct and incorrect will be more in comparison to unattempted questions. That's why my maximum possible value for correct questions will be 24, and the correct answer for this question is 24. I hope you get it. Let's proceed for the next question. Okay. Okay, so this is a good question again. Let's read it. The question says there are 5 students, including Amit, appear for an examination in which possible marks are integers and are in between 0 and 50. Both are inclusive. The average marks for all the students is 38. That means the sum of all 5 is given as 38 into 5, which is 190. This is the sum for all 5. Okay. And exactly 3 students got more than 32. If no 2 students got the same marks and Amit got the least marks among the 5 students, then the difference between the highest and lowest possible marks of Amit. So 5 students are, let's say, A, B, C, D and E. These are the 5 students. So firstly, what we have to find out? We have to find out, our goal is the maximum possible value of Amit, max of Amit. That's our goal for now. How we can do that? So 3 students are getting more than 32 and Amit is getting the least possible value. Okay. So, the sum of these 3, since these 3 are getting, let's say these 3 are getting more than 32, that means the sum of these 3 should be more than 32 into 3, that is 96, definitely more than 96. And these 2 are getting less than 32. Why? Because we have already taken this condition where only 3, exactly 3 are getting more than 32. That means the sum of these 2 is definitely be less than 64. 32 into 2, which is 64 or equal to 64. It's possible. Yes. Now, to find out the maximum possible value of Amit, what we can do, we can divide 64 equally amongst the 2. So this becomes 32, this becomes 32, but this is not possible. Why so? One, Amit is getting least possible, which is definitely not possible because you are taking the value of 32 same for both of them. The other one, all of them are getting different marks. That means what we can do is, we can give Amit maximum value of 31. And the remaining one will be, more than, let's say, what we can say is B is getting 32 and these 3 are getting more than 32. Okay. So from this discussion, we have got the maximum possible value of Amit as 31. That's the maximum possible value of Amit. Now, our next goal is to find out the lowest possible value of marks of Amit. How we can find out his minimum value? So for that, what we have to do is, we have to give the maximum possible sum to these 3 so that there is very less value left out for these 2. Okay, out of which we can minimize the value of Amit. Okay, how we can do that? So what is our sum? The sum is 190. So since all of the 3 are different, if all of the 3 have to be same, then all of the 3 will have to be given 50, 50 and 50, that means 150. But this is not possible. Why so? Because all of the 3 are different, all 5 are different. So that means one is 50, the other one is 49 and the other one is 48. So this sum is coming out as 147. 147 already we have utilized. So if we subtract 147 from here, how much is left out? So that is 3 and 4, 43 is left out. This is what exactly left out for us. Now what we can do, we can give a maximum possible value to B so that A can be minimum. So the maximum possible value that we can give to B is 32. Why not more than 32? Because if it is more than 32, then this condition won't be satisfied, that exactly 3 students are getting more than 32. So the maximum possible value for B is 32. In that case, minimum value of Amit will be 43 minus 32, that is coming out as 11. So this is the maximum possible value of Amit. This is the minimum possible value of Amit. Now the question is asking us to find out the difference between highest and lowest possible value, which is coming out as 31 minus 11, that is 20, which makes my third option absolutely correct. I hope you get this question. Let's proceed for the next question. Okay, so here is our next question. The question says the number of integer solutions of the equation which is given as x square minus 10 to the power x square minus 3x minus 10 equals to 1 is. Fair enough. Now, okay, so let's try and understand one thing first. Let's say a to the power b is equals to 1. So what are the possibilities for it? So the very first possibility, A case, is when your b is equals to 0. This is the first case. Okay, what is the second case? So the second case is when your A is 1 and then in that case B can be anything. Okay. The third case is when your A is minus 1 at the same time B is even. These are the 3 possibilities that we are having for such a case. Okay, so let's try and fulfill all these conditions one by one. Let's try and solve these cases one by one. So the very first case is when our b is equals to 0. That means our x square minus 3x minus 10 is equals to 0. So on solving this, what are the values of x that we are getting from here? So this is nothing but let's split the middle term here. So this is minus of 5 plus of 2. So the values of x that I am getting from here is 5 and minus 2. These are the two values that we are getting from here. Okay, now let's try and solve this case. So when your a is equals to 1, that means x square minus 10 is equals to 1, which means x square is coming out as 11. So will it give us the integer values of x? No, definitely not, since this is giving us plus minus root over 11, which is definitely not an integer. So this case is eliminated. Let's move on to the third case. A is equals to minus 1, that means x square minus 10 is equals to minus 1, which means x square is equals to 10 minus 1, that is 9, and the value of x is coming out as plus minus 3. And for any even value of b, this condition will be definitely satisfied. So what are the various possible values of x that I am getting for my question? So the values of x that are possible, one is 5, the other one is minus 2. These two values are from this case, and this case is eliminated, and the two values from this case are plus of 3 and minus of 3. This is the answer for this question. So how many number of integer solutions? 4 solutions are possible for this equation. That's the correct answer for this question. Let's proceed for the next question. Okay. Now the question says here that Mr. Pinto invests 1/5 of his capital at 6%, 1/3 at 10%, and the remaining at 1%, each rate being simple interest per annum. Okay. So let's do one thing. Let's assume some of the value of his capital. So what we can do, this is 1/5, which is 1 by 5, 1/3, which is 1 by 3, 5 and 3, 15. Let's take the value of total capital as 300. Let's take the value of capital at for this question is 300. Now 1/5 of his capital, that means 1/5. What's the value of 1/5? Which is 60. So 60 rupees he is investing at the rate 6% per annum. 6% per annum. Okay. 1/3, which is 100, at 10% per annum. 100 rupees at the rate 10% per annum means per year. And then remaining, so what's remaining? So 160 is gone, that means the left out value is 140. The remaining 140 rupees at the rate of 1% per annum. Okay, let's find out the total interest that he is getting in 1 year. So this is 6% of 60, which is coming out as 36 upon 100, 360 upon 100, that means 3.6 rupees. Okay, now 10% for 100, which is coming out straight away as 10 rupees, 10% of 100, and 1% of 140, which is coming out as 1.4 rupees. So what is the value of total interest that he is getting from these investments? So the value of total interest is coming out as 3.6 plus 10 plus 1.4, which is 15. So 3.6 plus 10 and plus 1.4, which is coming out as 15 rupees. This is the total interest that he is getting in 1 year on a capital of rupees 300. Now the question is asking you to find out the minimum number of years required for the cumulative interest income, cumulative in the sense the total interest income from these investments to equal or exceed his initial capital. So we need to find out the minimum number of years. Maximum can be anything, but then we have to find out the minimum number of years for which our interest income should be equals to capital. So for that, this should be 300 divided by 15. That means how many years do we need? We need 20 years. So if he is generating 15 rupees interest per annum, that means he needs minimum of 20 years to, accumulate the value of interest equals to 300. That's the answer for this question. The correct answer is 20 years. Let's proceed for the next question. The question says that there is an arithmetic progression given to us. So there's this arithmetic progression that is given to us. The number of terms are, the terms are 3, 7, 11. So first term, the value of first term is coming out as 3 and the common difference is coming out as 4. Now the question says there is a term, let's say, and this term itself denotes the sum of first n terms of this progression. And what we have to do, we have to take the sum of, this term itself from n is equals to 1 to 25. So what is an firstly? So that is nothing but n by 2 and 2a plus n minus 1 into d. This is nothing the value but the value of an. So let's solve it a bit for this expression. So n by 2 will be as it is. This is 2 into a, which is 6, plus n minus 1 into d, that is n minus 1 into 4. On simplifying this, this becomes n by 2 into, this is 6 and 4n minus 4. So this is 2 plus 4n and 4n minus 4, 6 plus 6 minus 4 is 2, correct. So now 2 will take common. So this is 1, this is 2. So the expression here becomes 2n plus 1 into n. This is the value of an that I am getting from here. Now what I have to find out? I have to find out the sum from n is equals to 1 to 25. So let's say n is equals to 1, n is equals to 2. So likewise, I have to find out the sum from n is equals to 1 to 25, and then 1 upon 25 is also given. And what is my value of an? So I have simplified and made it as 2n square plus n. This is what I have to solve. Okay, so I hope you got it till here. Now let's try and solve this expression. So we have to remove this part for it. Okay, so let's remove this. Now what we can do is we can split that, we can put this summation to these individual terms. So when we are doing it, this becomes summation, 2 will come out common. So this will be 2 upon 25, and from n is equals to 1 till 25 of n square. Okay, and this is plus of, this will become sigma, and this is 1 upon, let's say, or we can do one thing, we can put this 2 here, then this will be sigma n from n is equals to 1 to 25 likewise. Okay, so now what is this value of, what is the sum of n square? So that means 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square till 25 square. So what's the value of sigma n square? That is nothing but n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 by 6. So that's nothing but this. Okay, let's solve it further. So this is 1 upon 25 separate, and this is 2 into, this will be n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 by 6. And what I have to do is I have to put n is equals to 25 here. Likewise, so this is my left part. What is this sigma n? So this is nothing but sum of n consecutive natural number. What it was? It was sum of squares of n consecutive natural numbers. This is sum of n consecutive natural numbers starting from 1 till 25. So this will be n into n plus 1 by 2. Now all that I have to do is I have to simply put n is equals to 25 in these two individual expressions, and I have to simplify it. Let's solve it quickly. So this is coming out as 1 upon 25, then it will be 2. This is 25 into 26. So 25 into 26 into, this is 25 into 2, 50 plus 1, 51 upon 6. This is my first part. This is my second part, 25 into 26 divided by 2, which means 13 into 25, and this is 2, this cancel out, 3, 17. Okay, so we have solved it till here. Now let's simplify. So this becomes 17, this is 25, 26 and 17. So when you'll multiply this 1 upon 25 inside, this becomes 26 into 17. Now this is your only 13. So what it is, this is 13 into 2, which means 17 into 2 is 34. 34 plus 1, 35 into 13, that's the final expression. So let's solve it. What's the value that we are getting? So we are having two options that are ending in 5. One is 455, the other one is 415. So we have to solve it completely. So 5 3s are 15, 1 carry over. 5 and 9, 14 and 1, 15. That means last two digits are 55, which makes my third option absolutely correct. So that was your question number 19. I hope you get it. So in this question, the term itself is a sum. So we simply, firstly we found out the value of an, what's the value of our term. Then we solved it a bit and then we separated this summation over these two terms. Now this is nothing but the sum of squares of n consecutive natural numbers from 1 to 25. This is nothing but the sum of n consecutive natural numbers starting from 1 to 25. So we have put up these two expressions for them, and then finally we did put the value of n equals to 25. That's it. Let's proceed. Next question is this one. Okay, so this question says that fx is a quadratic polynomial in x such that f of x is greater than or equals to 0. Okay, let's take a quadratic expression f of x equals to generalized form ax square plus bx plus c. This is my generalized general form of a quadratic polynomial, and the value of function is greater than or equals to 0. Okay, so that means my function will open upwards. So it will open upwards for all real numbers x. F of 2 is given as 0, f of 4 is given as 6, and I have to find out the value of f of minus 2. Okay, one thing to be noticed here is, what is the meaning of this f of 2 is equals to 0? So when my function is equals to 0, the value of function is equals to 0, that means that point is a root point. So if we plot this on the graph, at f of 2 my function is getting 0, that means this will be somewhat like this. So at x is equals to 2, the value of y is becoming 0, this is a root point, and since my curve will open upwards, why so? Because the function is giving me positive values. Okay, now we all know that quadratic polynomial, that means that represents parabolic curve, and parabolic curve is a symmetrical figure. That means for if we draw a line parallel to y-axis and passing through the point x is equals to 2, all the points that we are taking towards its left and towards its right, and the points are equidistant, then the outputs will be same. That means if I take the value of x as 4, that means 2 plus 2. So let's say the point f that the point x is equals to 4 is somewhat here. So the output that I am getting at x is equals to 4 must be equals to 2 minus 2, that means x is equals to 0. So let's say the point, let's say this line is somewhat here, and this is x is equals to 0, and the kind of output that I am getting, let's draw it again. Okay, like this. So let's say the output is same. So this is x is equals to 0. Why so? Because the curve is symmetrical. So if the value of my function at x is equals to 4 is something, then the same value I'll get at x is equals to 0 as well. Why so? Because these 2 points are equidistant from x is equals to 2. Okay, which means the value of f of 4 is 6, and the same value will be of f of 0. So the function will give the same value equals to 6 at f of 0 also. I mean at 0 as well. Okay, now what we can do, we can put these points in my expression. So for f of 2, my function is giving me 0. That means I'll get one value from here. Let's remove this graph. Okay, so from graph, after solving, we came to this conclusion that f of 0 is also equals to 6. Now let's put these values in my expression, in my function, and let's see how it proceeds. So let's say f of 2 is equals to 0. That means this will become 4a plus 2b plus c equals to 0. This is my one expression. Since f of 0 is coming out as 6, that means when you will put x is equals to 0, this will be 0, this is again 0, and c will be equals to 6. That means I can simplify this and I can make it like this. Okay. Next, or I can again simplify this. This becomes 2a plus b equals to minus of 3. Now, let's say this is my first equation. Now, f of 4 is coming out as 6. That means 16a plus 4b plus 6 is equals to 6. That means 4a plus b is equals to 0. This is my second expression. Now what we can do, we can simply subtract first equation from the second one. So 4a minus 2a will be equal to 2a. So this will be 2a. So 4a minus 2a, that will be 2a. b and b will cancel out. This will become 3. So the value of a is coming out as 3 by 2. And if a is 3 by 2, the value of b is coming out as 3 by 2. That means b will be minus of 6. So let's put a equals to 3 by 2 here. This will cancel out 3 and b will be minus 6. So I've got my a, I've got my b, and c I have already got, that is equals to 6. Now what we have to find out, let's reframe our expression, which is f of x. Let's do that. So the expression will be equals to minus 2, that is 4a, that is minus 2b and plus c. This is the value of function at minus 2. So simply put x is equals to minus 2, this will be 4a, this will be minus 2b, and this will be plus c. Now a is 3 by 2, 2 will cancel out, so it will become 6 minus 2b, which is minus minus plus, 6 into 2 will be 12 and plus 6 again. So 12 and 12, that becomes 24. That's the value of this expression, which is nothing but option 3. So my option 3 is absolutely correct for this question. Let's proceed for the next question. Okay. So now in this question, the question says that the length of each side of an equilateral triangle ABC is 3 centimeters. So I'm provided with the 3 sides of an equilateral triangle. All the sides are equal to 3 centimeter. Let D be a point. Now the question says that there is a point D and it is such that it is on BC, and area of triangle ADC, let's say my D point is here. So area of triangle ADC is nothing but half of area of triangle ABD. Okay, now I have to find out the length of AD. Let's do one thing. Let's drop a perpendicular from A on BC and let's say that it is nothing but E. So since it is an equilateral triangle, this will be median also. Now the side is given as 3. So this entire length is given as 3. That means this entire length will be 1.5. Okay. And now the question says the area of triangle ADC is half of area of triangle ABD. Okay. That means I have to divide my area of triangle ratio. Let's try and find out the ratio. Let's do it with base ratio division method. So area of triangle ABD to the area of triangle ADC. So the question says the area of triangle ADC is half of the area of triangle ABD. So the ratio is nothing but 2:1. That means this entire length is given as 1. This length is 2. So if this length is 1 and total EC is 1.5, that means this length is nothing but 0.5. Okay, so I've got my ED, which is equals to 0.5 or half. AE is height of equilateral triangle. So AE straight away we can find out that is nothing but equals to √3 by 2 into side length. Side length is given as 3. That's my height. Since I've got my height, I've got my base, this is a right angle triangle, I can use Pythagoras theorem and I can easily find out the value of AD. So AD is nothing but root over AE square plus ED square. ED square will be half and AE square will be 9 into 9, 81 by 4. Okay. So AD is coming out as this is 3 and 9, sorry, this will be 27. This is nothing but 27 by 4. So what is the value of AD? This is coming out as 28 by 4, which is 7, which makes AD equals to root 7. So correct answer for this question is fourth option. So this was an easy question based upon equilateral triangle. Let's proceed for the last question of today. This is question number 22. Let's see what it is exactly. The question says there are two ships and these ships are meeting mid-ocean, and then one ship goes south and the other ship goes west. Let's draw this. So one ship is going towards south, the other one is going towards west at constant speeds. 2 hours later, they are 60 kilometers apart. That means the distance between the two after 2 hours is nothing but 60 kilometers. This distance is given as 60 kilometers. Okay, let's keep this point as O. This is A and this is B. So my AB is nothing but equals to 60 kilometers. The question says if the speed of one of the ships is 6 km per hour more than the other one. So definitely, let's say the speed of one is X. So let's say if this is X, then this will be X plus 6 km per hour. And when you'll multiply the speed with time, 2 hours, then you'll get this total distance. So what we can do instead, we can straight away write our distance as this is 2x kilometers. This is our distance 2x kilometers. And this distance is nothing but 2x plus 12 kilometers. So let's write it here, 2x plus 12 kilometers. This is our distance of this. Now, the question says, then the speed of the slower ship will be what? Guys, if you observe this carefully, this is nothing but again a right angle triangle. So if this is a right angle triangle, that means these three are the sides of this triangle, and these are Pythagorean triplet. This must satisfy this condition, right? So what we can do, we can take values of x one by one from options. So the question says the speed of the slower ship. So we have taken the slower ship speed as x. So if we take first option, that means x is equals to 12. Then this becomes 24. This becomes 24 plus 12, which is 36. So one side is 24, the other side is 36, and this is 60. So this is coming out as, let's say, 12 2s are 24, 12 3s are 36, 12 5s are 60. So is it a Pythagorean triplet? Definitely not. So this option gets eliminated. Next option, 18. So if we take x is equals to 18, then this becomes 36, this becomes 36 and 12, that is 48, and this is 60. So this is 12 into 3, 36, this is 12 4s are 48, this is 12 5s are 60, 3 4 5 is a Pythagorean triplet. That means my option 2 is absolutely correct for this option. So I hope you got all the questions. So this was a complete paper solution for CAT 2022 slot 2 quant section. So we'll come up with another video on the same CAT 2022 slot 3 quant section. Till then, keep solving, keep learning. Bye bye, take care.